Hey, this is John Panico. We're here at Road Atlanta in our new little media booth, so to speak. But we're sitting here having an opportunity to talk with Bryan Sellers. Bryan, appreciate giving us some time today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
How about telling us a little bit about the Bryan Sellers story? Give us a little bit of background because, you know, a lot of our fans, they don't really know racing. And so kind of bring them up to date because you're a well-known name, but maybe not to someone who's just coming into the sport.
Well, I started actually racing when I was 9 years old, which isn't too far removed from, you know, where a lot of people start. And my story is probably not a whole lot different than most. My dad grew up in a racing family. They raced karts, and they never really went much further than that. But they spent a lot of time as a family together racing karts. And I, you know, grew up around my grandparents' house and around my parents and my aunts and uncles. And there was always pictures of racing and pictures of them karting and trophies all over the house. And it was always something for me that was a little bit different from all the other kids, right? For me, it always kind of caught my eye, and it was always something special. And when I was 9 years old, my parents, they had my brother, and we decided they wanted to change school districts. You know, I don't know, he came along and they decided they needed something better. I don't know what, you know, preferential treatment, I'm not sure. But
there you go.
When we moved school districts, I was behind, significantly behind in school from one to the other. And, you know, I was kind of struggling to make friends, struggling to keep my grades up, struggling with the teachers a little bit. And my dad came to me after one of the first quarters in school and said, hey, you know, we moved to try and help better things, but, you know, we need you to work harder and we need you to be committed to this. So
that's a serious conversation when you're 9.
It is. But, you know, for them, there was no financial backing. You know, like they didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of capabilities to move forward. So they kind of sunk everything they had into moving from where we were into a better place. And they wanted to make the most of that. So he said, what do you want to do? You know, let me make you a deal. If your grades come up, absolutely. If your grades come up, you know, what would you like to do? And I told him, well, I want to race. And that was like the worst thing you could hear, right? Because they were already strapped for cash. But they're great parents. They were great parents. And he stuck true to his word and you know, said, okay, well, we'll go racing. As long as your grades stay above a B, we'll race and we'll do it as a family. So for me, it covered a lot of different bases. It you know, motivated me in school. It kept me out of trouble because I always wanted to race and I wanted to do well in racing, so that it was all that was important. And it brought my family close together. We spent from the time I was 9 until I was 16 on the road together every single weekend, traveling, racing. And I have a relationship with them and my brother that I would say is pretty uncommon.
That's awesome.
You know, so it was a great thing. Racing was not just a means to an end. It was a lifestyle, and it changed our whole family atmosphere.
Family bonding. Now, your brother doesn't race?
My brother doesn't. He started, and then he decided that it wasn't for him. He played soccer, just finished, he's a senior in college now and just finished his last year of soccer, and just didn't really have any interest in racing, which ultimately was a good thing for me, because if he did, I don't know that my family would have been able to afford two of us going through it. But, you know, he helped my career by not being interested.
So, you know, in terms of Road Atlanta, what's your favorite part about living close to here? I mean, do you get to get out on the track?
But I remember, I can remember one of the first times I ever came to Road Atlanta. I came in Formula Ford 2000, and it was in 2001. And immediately, it was one of my favorite tracks to come to. I mean, it's absolutely one-of-a-kind track. I mean, it combines so many different facets of motorsports into one place. And that's what truly makes it special. You have some of the highest load, highest speed corners of any tracks we go to. You know, some of the most technical sections you could actually use. You have sections that require patience, sections that require being aggressive, and to top it all off, no runoff and no margin for error. So, you know, you have basically a street course with high speed, high technical, car placement, you name it, hills, falls, it's all here. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So, do you really have an advantage, because you don't get to race here as often as you like?
No, I mean, I would say the advantage is negligible at best. The thing about kind of when you get to this stage is everybody is very good at what they do. And track knowledge and track advantage is sort of irrelevant because everybody is so good.
Okay.
And that's our job, is to be good and to be great no matter where we go, whether it's here or whether it's somewhere else.
So what gives someone track advantage here at Road Atlanta? Because I've asked this question to motorcycle drivers, other ALMS type folks, and would like to hear your answer as well.
I would say for me, the thing that would give you an advantage at Road Atlanta would be car placement and being comfortable with where you are. I would say it's much like anything. Once you've done it multiple times, that advantage deteriorates. But at the beginning of a weekend, when people are just coming, when people are just showing up, and you've done enough laps here that you know exactly where the crests of the hill are, where the blind spots show, and how to adjust to those, that's where the big advantages come. It's not so much in the fact of, I can brake here, or I can turn here, or I can brake there, because that will change from weekend to weekend, car to car,
Sure,
when the grip levels change. But it is the fact that, turn one has a big banking just at the apex. It's the fact that you know how to use the curb in turn 3 correctly, as opposed to just running over it. It's how you hit that curb. Knowing that turn 5 starts uphill from the very bottom of the S's, allowing you to brake later and carry more speed into the corner. All those small, nuances, exactly, of the track. Thank you. I was kind of stuck there. But all the small nuances of the track, those are the things that end up being an advantage.